Hey guys, it's Sam, and this is my first video in a new series called Reading Slump Refuge. So I was in a very big reading slump the end of last month and the beginning of this month, and when I'm in a reading slump, I embrace that reading slump. I don't really try to push through it that much. I do a little bit, but I don't really try to just push through because typically speaking, I'm going to hate whatever book I pick up regardless of what it is. So I use watching TV, playing video games, doing other things to kind of get me through those reading slumps. And so I just wanted to kind of talk about what I was doing while I wasn't reading. So the first category is TV, and that was the one that really got me through this time around. So I actually started watching a few new TV shows in this little time period, and the first one is Outlander. And I was not sure what the whole Outlander hype was. I didn't really get it. I didn't really know anything about the book series, really. I knew that it was, you know, Scottish, and there was time travel in it, and da-da-da-da-da, but I didn't know. I didn't know. And then I started watching it, and I watched the entire first season in a day about, you know, like I really just went for it. So the first episode is a little slower, so if you have started watching it, it's on Stars. If you have started watching it and you aren't really into it the first episode, give it the second episode, and if you're gonna love it, you're gonna love it then. You're gonna be hooked immediately because I absolutely adore it. I love the way that it's shot. I think it's beautiful. I love watching shows like the premium channels because you don't have any commercials. They have really good production values and stuff. It's just gorgeous. The characters are awesome. Everybody is very morally gray in this show. And it's kind of, you know, like Game of Thrones, except for it's not fantasy. It's very, you know, there's people scheming and there's a lot going on and there's like a little bit of this kind of like almost fantastical element to it, but not really. Like there's not really like magic and stuff throughout the series so far. But it's amazing, and it's actually made me want to read the books. I think I might pick up the book at some point soon and see how that goes, although I love the show so much that I almost don't want to spoil the show for myself, which is a little weird because it doesn't happen. So I love it. If you are into like historical fiction or just really well done TV shows, I would really recommend Outlander. It deserves all the hype that it's been getting, and I cannot wait to start the next season. The next TV show I was talking about a ton on Twitter when I was watching it, and that is The 100. This is another show that I just didn't get what the hype was about. I didn't understand. I saw it all over Tumblr and Twitter, and I just was like, I don't really get it. I don't really know. And the first couple episodes are a little rough. I watch a lot of CW shows, like I love The Vampire Diaries and a few other shows on there, and just older CW shows, so I'm used to CW and the way they work. And the first seasons of CW TV shows are typically a little shaky. You know, like the acting's not quite that good, the characters are not really hitting their stride right away, and it can be a little bit cheesy, a little bit corny. Like if you go back and watch the first season of The Vampire Diaries, it's like embarrassing. But that's kind of how I felt with this one, but after like 3 episodes, I was a little addicted to it. Like it was bad. And then I watched it again in like 2 days and finished the whole first season. I have only watched the first season. I have not watched the second season because I watched it on Netflix, and to get the second season I have to like illegally download it or something, so I'm either waiting for it to come on Netflix or buying it because I really do want to watch the second season very, very badly. But I love all the characters on here. I love the interactions between people, and I ship a lot of people, and it's bad. And that's kind of one of those kinds of shows, like if you really like characters and character interactions and relationships and just like friendships, it's amazing. There's a lot of diversity on the show. There's a ton of different people of a ton of different races, different sexualities and stuff as well. And it's so good. And the females on this show are amazing. Like they are so kick butt, and the female relationships are actually really, really good. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but there's a situation where 2 females could have been pitted against one another and could have been enemies over something rather stupid, and they end up being friends, and I love it so much. It makes my heart just so happy. So I love this show. If you have seen maybe a few episodes of it and you didn't like it, like I said, the acting is a little rough at the beginning, and the special effects are really cheesy in the beginning, kind of like Once Upon a Time and how cheesy the special effects kind of are. It's like that, kind of even worse, but I love it so much. It's so addictive, and it's really fast paced, and there's a lot going on. I think if you're like a fan of Lost, you'd really like this because it's kind of that like sci-fi fantastical element going on. So if you haven't given The 100 a try yet and you have Netflix, give it a shot. It's really good. It's really addictive. If you need something like fast paced to like get you through a reading slump like this, definitely recommend. The last TV related thing is the Food Network. So I never knew as a kid and as even a teenager, like what was the big deal with the Food Network? Like why did everybody love the Food Network? So recently I've started to kind of take an interest in cooking a little more, and it's just a thing that I've been into recently. I've wanted to like cook stuff and like make actual meals besides like pasta or like, you know, heating up frozen food dishes. So I've been watching Food Network and I am absolutely addicted to Chopped. Like, bad. Like if Chopped's on for like a marathon, and they're usually on like every day for at least like 3 episodes, I'm gonna be sitting down watching Chopped. I absolutely adore it. I wish I could be a chef, even though I don't, because a chef's job is super hard. But that's been kind of something that's been taking up my time. I've made a lot of dishes and stuff, not from Chopped obviously, but I've been a little more inspired to cook and stuff, and Food Network has been my jam lately. Like if I'm turning on the TV, it's probably gonna be Food Network. And I'm gonna watch it for like a few hours, and I'm gonna absolutely love it. The second thing I want to talk about was games and video games and stuff, and there's actually only one for this, and it's actually a phone game, oddly enough. So I'm going to show you on my boyfriend's phone because that's where I play it, because he has a giant iPhone 6 Plus because he loves playing games on his phone. I decided one day that I wanted to play one of these kinds of games, and I decided I was going to take his phone and use it because his phone is this size and my phone is this size, so it's a lot easier to play this type of game on a bigger phone, and I will show you that right now. So the game is called The Secret Society, The Hidden Mysteries, and it is kind of a puzzle game, but it's where you have to find hidden pictures. So it's a hidden picture game. I'm gonna actually turn off the sound, even though I love the sound because it's nice little like ambient stuff. But basically there are different pictures and you have to find different things within these pictures and you have to unlock them and stuff. I'm not sure how much you can see this, but there's a ton of things going on. There's a ton of different missions you have, and you have to find different things within the pictures. I want to open one up and hope that it's fairly easy so I can do it and show you kind of what you have to do. So here's an example of a picture, and you basically have to find these things that are listed down below up here in the room. So as you get better at it, you can obviously see more of them, but you are timed and you have to find them all, and they're hidden, and it's very hard, and they're all like little and stuff, so that's why I use the bigger screen. But I'm absolutely addicted to it. I actually play this game like multiple times a day. I used to only play it before bed, and now I play it multiple times a day. It's one of those games that you need to recharge your energy for, so you can't just continuously play it all day, but you recharge your energy when you level up, and it recharges over time and stuff, kind of like Candy Crush and some of those. So you get to play like 5 or 6 pictures usually at a time, and then obviously the more you level up, the more pictures you can get into, but it's so fun. So if you like any of those games, like it's kind of like a grown-up Where's Waldo, honestly, and you can find all these little things, and it's just a lot of fun, and it's really good for your brain, I think, so I absolutely adore them. And it's really good graphics and a ton of fun, and it's free. And you don't have to pay for anything. Like, you could obviously pay to get like jewels and stuff like that to buy stuff, but you don't need to at all. I have not run into any kind of paywall. I've been playing it for like 3 weeks or so, maybe close to a month, and I haven't run into any kind of like, you know, premium things that you have to pay for. You don't have to like have friends on Facebook, although you can, but you don't need to at all. Like, I've never had to have a friend do anything for me to open anything up, so I really love it. And the last category is kind of the other category, and that is where something fell into, and that is fan fiction. So, full disclosure, I don't really read a ton of fan fiction, or I didn't before. I've just never really been into it. It kind of weirds me out sometimes because I feel like some fan fiction writers, and this is just a general statement, it's not saying all, just some of the stuff that I ran into, it's weird for me when I'm used to a character a certain way and then the fan fiction writer will kind of take them and have them be completely different. Like, I'm okay if they're in a different setting, if they're in an alternate universe, whatever, but they need to remain true to how they were written. So it's weird because you'll have kind of like the ratings go up to be like a more mature like stuff, so they'll be swearing and everything else, and you're just like, the character wouldn't do that. So typically speaking, I haven't read a ton of fan fiction at all. I see a lot of one-shots on Tumblr, which are just like little scenes people will ask fan fiction writers to write, and they'll pop up my feed because I have a lot of fandom stuff on Tumblr, but I haven't actually sat down and read a fan fiction on fanfiction.net until last month. So for those of you that don't know, I am a big Dramini shipper, and that is Draco and Hermione from Harry Potter. And some of you are probably going to be like, dislike on this video, and that's fine, and I don't care, but I love it. And obviously the biggest thing that you can do for that is fanfiction. There are a ton of like gift sets and stuff on Tumblr and videos and stuff that you can look at too that are a ton of fun that I actually have delved into as well last month, and I think it's amazing because that fandom has really no like video footage to go off of because they didn't have many interactions obviously at all. So they've made a lot of things through just like graphics and stuff like that and editing, and that fandom is really good because they have made some videos where you're like, that looks like that was in the movie. Like, it's amazing. So I picked up a fan fiction last month and I read probably like 15 or so chapters. I've stopped since then because I'm reading again, but it was Isolation. I will link it down below. It is a little more mature because that just tends to be what fanfiction is. They definitely like amp up the ratings on a lot of fanfiction, but it's really well loved in the Dramini fandom, and I started reading it, and it's nice because like I was reading something and it was very fast paced, but it wasn't a book and it wasn't like making me feel obligated to read it, so I delved into fanfiction. High five to me, guys, or maybe not. I don't know. But I'll be doing a video at some point in the future on fanfiction when I've gotten a little bit more under my belt. I feel like I have a lot of opinions about fanfiction, but I don't have a ton of experience with it, so I don't want to voice them until I have some more experience with fanfiction and that kind of part of fandom. I'm very big on like gift sets and videos, like fan videos and stuff right now. I've been watching those kinds of things for years, but I've never actually delved into fanfiction. So this is the first time that I have, and like I said, it was really good to get through Reading Slump because there was no kind of obligation felt. I could read it on my phone. It was very fast paced, so really, really enjoyed it. And like I said, if you're a Dramini shipper like me, it'll be linked down below if you are interested. Alright guys, that is it for the first video of my series for Reading Slump Refuge. So these videos will pop up whenever I'm in a reading slump, and that could be again in another month, or it could be in like 6 months or a year, but whenever I'm feeling in a reading slump and I'm doing other things, I will post a video after I'm kind of out of it, saying what I was doing and different things that helped me push through. So comment down below, let me know some of the things that you do when you're in a reading slump to help you push through. If you're in a reading slump right now, or you were last month, because I know a ton of us were, comment, let me know what you were doing, what you were up to, and what helped you kind of get out of that reading slump. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye!